All right. Hello, everybody. Joe Crivello here. I'm here with Craig Berry, Mike Tubbs, and Chris Hopkins in Canada. And we've invited Chris in today because Chris has been doing something that I totally love, and it's called AdWords for. It's going to be a year in April, right, Chris? So for a year, he's been doing AdWords in April, and he's going to talk a little bit about how AdWords works. And so we're going to be explaining that tonight. So we're not going to be talking about chlorine dioxide tonight, although this has a whole lot to do with chlorine dioxide, because if your phone's ringing from being at the top on AdWords from the search ads, then you get jobs, right? So it's called pay-per-click. So Chris, why don't you tell your story, how you started doing this, right? And tell us from the beginning how it all started happening, and the kind of money you were making in the beginning and how it's grown over 11 months now. Okay, I'm going to try to shut up and let you take it away, buddy.
Okay, so I was very fortunate to get in with the chlorine dioxide, and I went down to Colorado Springs to see Joe before he moved and got a first-hand view of it. And then I went back and had a website built. I had Craig Berry doing the SEO for me until it got onto the first page. And then I was really happy. And the whole time after the website was up, I started doing AdWords. I hired a company to do the AdWords that was doing the AdWords for my carpet repairs, because I don't do carpet cleaning. And I'm so used to saying that, because especially when I'm seeing Mike on that.
I know.
Wait, immediately that I started the AdWords, the first month, I did $2,000 in sales, and that would have been April of 2017. That continued doing that. That's my cell phone, sorry. That continued somewhere between 2,000 a month and 2,500 a month until the month of December 2017. In the month of December of 2017, I started.
There you go, because Mark Hayes is saying he can't hear you. You just sounded really good when you got close to that mic.
Okay, I don't want to scare people. Get too.
I know.
As immediately in December.
Oh, he froze.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. The sales increased to about just over 5,000 in December, and I can only attribute it all to the AdWords campaign. And as well, I have to say, because I don't want to discount what Craig Berry did for me, but the fact that they can see the AdWords on the top of the page and see my website in the organic search underneath it, I think that's a big plus.
Absolutely.
So December, I did just over 5,000 in sales for chlorine dioxide or odor removal. In the month of January, I did exactly 5,000. And we're just about to the end of February, and it looks like my sales for February are going to be 4,700. And I can pretty much say that's strictly from the AdWords. I'm spending a maximum of $550 on the click cost, and my cost for administration to the company that's doing the AdWords is 33% of that. So if we were to convert the 550 into US dollars, it's probably about $100 that it would cost someone in the US.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, we got it made here, buddy.
Yeah. But anyway, it works really well, and I don't want to keep this a secret. I'd kind of like to share this with other people because it's given me tremendous success. It did take a number of months where I only did 2,000 a month in sales on the odor removal, but it's 3 months in a row. It's consistently either 5,000 or very close to 5,000. And this month I was out of town for 2 weeks on holidays, so it's working really well for me.
So you were gone for 2 weeks in February, and you're still going to make $4,700.
Yes.
Yeah. So, because you were down there in Arizona where Mike is, and you have some business down there, of course. You were down there, and you got friends down there. You got Mike, and what's his name? Get Out Jack. What's the other guy's name?
What's up, Chuck?
What's up, Chuck? Not Get Out Jack. So anyway, hey, can everybody else hear us okay? Because Mark's saying volume. Is my volume good? I know my volume's good. So say something real quick, Chris. Let's see. Not Chris. Everybody's good on my end. Okay. Good. Oh, okay. Tim's there. All right. So, Chris, so when I owned a Maridry in Colorado, I did AdWords for about 10 years. And the only reason I stopped doing AdWords was because I became a preferred vendor. Alacrity took me on, and they eventually had 7 insurance companies, so 7 of the largest, and like Farmers and, Allstate and those kind of things. And so I was so busy being a preferred vendor, I couldn't do AdWords anymore because I couldn't do it all. And it was just too much work. But the difference in AdWords for water damage and for odor, there's a pretty big difference. One, water damage keywords can be anywhere from $40 to $150, depending on where you're at per click, for each click. Odor keywords are around, it looks like I've been doing one for one. It looks like it's around, $4 to $5 a click, somewhere in there. So it's not that high of a click for each click when you're doing AdWords for odor. So in the beginning, your population's like 1.5 million that you're going after, and you call it blocks. We call it zip codes. You call it blocks, right?
No, we call it postal codes.
You call it what?
Postal codes.
Postal code, same thing, man, as a zip code, right? So you're going after. So there's several ways to do AdWords. You can do radius. You can take a town like Wilmington and go out 40 miles in a circle, which isn't going to work too well because about 35 of those miles are in the ocean on a radius, right? Or if you're landlocked like you, Mike, it's a different thing. So for you, you're doing postal. Now, is there a reason why you're doing postal codes? Is there areas you don't want to work in? Because I'm going to talk about that in a second.
If I did a block with a radius like you're talking about, 20 to 25 miles would be in the United States, and I'm not allowed to work in.
That's right. I understand. Got it. I understand why you're doing that. So in the beginning, you started last April. So it sounds like for about 5 months, you're around $2,000, $2,500 a month on about $500 ad spend, right?
Correct.
So that's a pretty good return on investment in the beginning.
4 to 1.
And then say that again.
4 to 1, right?
Yeah, 4 to 1 is really, really good. But now you're averaging about 10 to 1, 12 to 1. It depends. Because I've looked at your analytics. You sent me some analytics. I just wanted to see what the analytics look like. And it looked like, you're about 10 to 1, which is that's a fantastic number. So those of you that are new with AdWords, the way it works is when you do a search at the very top of Google, you're going to see ads, and usually there's 4 ads. Depending on the popularity of the keyword, there can be anywhere from 1 to 4 ads, and sometimes Google will put those ads at the bottom of the first page, because Google can do whatever they want to do. Because, when people search, they start at the top, and then they kind of skip the people in the middle and go to the bottom. Like, I don't know why, but if you look at heat maps that Google has, it shows how people search and surf, right? So being at the top of Google and having that ad is how you're getting all those calls. Your phone's ringing all the time. So in your area, you have 1.5 million people that you're going after. It's about 1.5 million. Where Juan is doing it. So I've tested Juan for 30 days. He's about 800,000. So you're about twice as many population, and we're getting about as many. How many clicks a month do you think you're getting right now after a year?
This is probably sounds really bad, but I do not even look. I'm just so happy with getting the business and the cost that I don't even look at the.
Amen, brother. You're my kind of client. I don't care what you charge me as long as I'm making money.
Well,
As long as it's 10 to 1.
Yeah, 10 to 1. So
there is a limit set on the upper amount that I spend. So
yes.
I know I'm only going to spend maximum every month of $550. That's my upper limit.
Yes.
I rarely spend that much.
Yes. And it's because the keywords are so cheap.
Yes.
I mean, the keywords are very inexpensive for odor, so that's how it works. And so let me explain because Craig told me not to get technical. So I'm going to try not to get technical.
Thanks, Craig.
Not too technical, anyway.
I sit there and try to train Craig on Craig's done AdWords also, right? And I'm telling him how it's done, man. Like AdWords to me is like Disneyland for a 5-year-old. Because it's an awesome game that we get to play, right? So AdWords can either be Las Vegas and be a slot machine and you lose all your money, or it can be a vending machine and you put money in and you get something back, right? So I like the vending machine idea because there's several ways that you can use AdWords. And if you know nothing about AdWords, you start putting keywords in there, which is called broad match keywords. What happens is you can say red shoes, right? If you're a red shoes salesperson and you have a store, and Google can say, well, and all you sell is red shoes, right? And Google can say, well, that's broad match. Blue is a shoe. It's a blue shoe. That's close enough. All right. I'm gonna put their ad up for blue shoe because somebody searched blue shoes and they go to your website and you don't even have blue shoes and you just spent all that money. So knowing how to use AdWords correctly, knowing about broad modified, how to do broad modified AdWords, how to do phrase match, exact match. It's all very important. But those of you that have probably dabbled in AdWords a little bit, probably about the search network. But a lot of people that I talk to have never even heard of GDN, Google Display Network. Like when you're on the search and you're on the website and you see those ads on the right side or the top or on your email, right? That's the GDN. That's Google Display Network. So when you're doing search network only, you're doing 1/5 of the pie because there's Gmail, there's video ads, there's remarketing, there's retargeting. So there's shut up. That's that $5,000 carpet cleaning job right there, dude. That you just said for me.
Later.
So when you're doing AdWords, there's more to AdWords than just search network, right? There's other ways you make money, and that's what I'm going to go after is all of the pie, right? Because and then you have a budget like Chris was talking about. His budget happens to be $550 max a month. Now you can have a daily budget of $50, right? Right, and that's going to be more than $550, but you got to start somewhere so you can get some clicks and see what's going on. The way AdWords works is like this. So in a town like Chris's, his AdWord guy knows how to spell odor, right? We don't know how to spell it here in the U.S., dude. No. So when he's going after all these keywords, there's a search term when somebody searches that we get to look at, and we get to decide, is that a negative keyword or a positive keyword? Do we want to bid on that keyword and add it to the pack? And I'm not going to get into this too much because I can talk for 6 months about AdWords and still not be done. there is so much to AdWords that it's crazy. There's so much to how it all works, right? And I love it. And because you mere mortals have to sleep at night, and I don't, like I sleep some. I sleep about 4 hours, man. I'm up at night studying all this stuff, man. So anyway, the main thing about AdWords is this. AdWords will get your phone to ring, but if you don't know how to sell on the phone, there's not a thing I can do about that, right? So
Right.
I want to do something here, and tonight I'm going to have Craig and I have a deal to do AdWords for you all, and this is all recorded, and we're going to show you that, and we have this deal going on. But let me talk about this, because the way I do AdWords is I do call tracking. So I don't know if you do call tracking. Do you, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. So I record the calls, right? Not only do we record the calls, we transcribe the call. Plus, we are able by that call, because of the artificial intelligence, it gives a thumbs up or thumbs down. We're using some high-powered software for this because it can tell by the tone of the voice and by the keywords if it's a good call or a bad call. So I know right away if it's a good or a bad call. And then if you don't get the job and I listen to it, I can tell I can help people sell better. So that's why we're going to role play a little bit, because I've done AdWords with people in the past, and by doing call tracking, I can hear what's going on. And there's ways that you get in the door, right? We have a specialty product. We have a product. It's not carpet cleaning. It's like nothing else out there, right? So we have a unique product. It's not really a product. You need to get in front of the person, right? I strongly believe in, if somebody's asking for price, I'm talking square footage and not thousands. I might say $1 a square foot instead of $2,000. Now that person on the other end, right, might be thinking in their head, I got a 2,000 square foot house, right? It's going to be about $2,000. But there's something that goes on in people's heads when you say $1 a square foot and you say 2,000. Because believe me, if I'm hearing $1, and all of you that have been in business for a long time, you understand this real well. Because people understand, they think $1, oh, $1, okay, I get it, or 50 cents or whatever. So let me throw this out real quick. Chlorine dioxide does not need to be just $1 a square foot. It can be whatever you need it to be for you to be happy. It could be 50 cents a square foot. I'm just saying, we have members that are doing it for that low, and they're happy as heck. They're making a lot of money. They're making a lot of sales. Our costs are so low on the product, and our time is such a limited amount of time. We make money no matter what. I'm not saying you do 50 cents. I'm saying you use your gut, right? You use gut instinct. AdWords, it's extremely important. AdWords is about getting your phone to ring and you get in that house and make as many sales as you can. So I'm going to do, Chris, let's ask you first before we role play with Mike here. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, that's your, well, I'm going to get with you, bro.
Oh, gee, I got to go. Dinner's on the table.
No. So listen, Mike, when you get a call, tell me the typical call you're getting from AdWords. Talk about the typical call and how you answer and how you approach it. Now, how Chris does it may not be the way you guys do it, but let's hear what Chris is doing. He's making about $5,000 a month. I want to hear what he's saying. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. So do you want to ask me
Yes.
questions?
Okay. Hi. I just I'm on your website right now, and I have a bad smoke odor in my house. We bought the house. It smelled like lemon before we bought it. And now we've been in the house a week and we can smell the cigarette smoke. So I don't know what they did to make it smell like lemon, but now it smells like cigarettes. And my wife is extremely allergic to cigarette smell. She's losing her voice, right? And so I'm worried about that. So I was just wondering, we bought this house. What's the process? I was on your site and it says you use some kind of a vapor or something. I'm just wondering, what is your process? How do you do that? And what does it cost to do that?
Okay, so we can definitely get rid of the cigarette smoke odor smell. I mean, it's one of the surest things that we do. I mean, It works almost best for cigarette smoke odor. Now, what we do is totally dependent on how long the person or persons smoked in the home before you bought the property or moved into the property. The requirements for getting rid of the smoke odor is if you have like a nicotine film on the walls, on the ceilings, if you find that, then really the first step that we need to do is wash the walls and wash the walls.
I'm pretty sure they painted the walls because it was all new paint when we moved in.
And we hear that one a lot as well. And the thing that I hear the most when people say that is, did they lock the odor in or is it still coming out? And we've done a lot of homes where we've done it both ways before it's been painted, having to wash the walls, as well as after painting, and people are concerned about, is it not going to come out? And every single time we've been able to 100% completely remove the odor.
So I was talking to Jim's carpet cleaning before I called you, and they have this, they said they have this like machine that they plug in, and I got to leave for 2 days. And so, and they're going to, for about $250, I got a 2,000 square foot house. They said they'd get rid of that odor for me. Do you have like a machine, and what does yours cost?
Okay. So you're talking about ozone, which has been the standard for a number of decades now. It's been the product that everyone turned to. The trouble is that ozone has never been as effective as people wanted it to be. It still leaves behind some odors. You'll find that a lot of car dealerships are using ozone, and it's still leaving it behind. But the fact that you know about ozone really helps me to explain to you how the chlorine dioxide works that we use. How ozone works is that they bring a machine in and it generates an O3 oxygen atom. Now, O3 is just O2, which is essentially the air we breathe, with an added oxygen molecule, which is an unstable molecule. That one extra oxygen atom wants to depart from the O3. It finds a bacteria. It attaches itself to bacteria, oxidizing the bacteria. And in the bacteria is where the odor is held. So once the bacteria has been oxidized, it has removed the odor. The difference between chlorine dioxide and ozone is we don't bring a machine in that we have to plug into the wall. We bring in a 2-part component, we mix it with water, and it causes itself to become a gaseous vapor that is 100 times smaller than any ozone atom. The benefit of that is it gets deeper into every crack and crevice. It completely removes odors out of every porous surface, like drapes, carpets, clothes, bedding, everything. It is tremendously more effective to use than ozone, and that is why we give the guarantee on the website that if it didn't remove the odor, don't pay me. And it's all based on what you smell, how you feel about whether the job has been completed, whether you pay me or not.
Wow. So are you around $250 like the other guy, like Jim's carpet cleaning?
It's really difficult. I need to ask you a couple questions first, and we can see. Do you see any nicotine on any of the surfaces, the kitchen, the walls?
No, they replaced the carpet. I got new paint. I don't see anything. I just smell smoke, right? When we come in, we can smell it. It's starting to warm up, so I'm smelling it like a little bit more. The warmer it gets, the more we smell it.
Okay, so the best thing I can do is give you a range of costs, because of course I'm sitting here and I need to come to your home before I can give you an exact cost. But it's likely to do your home will be between $1,600 and $1,800.
Oh my God. That's like a small island. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No.
I can see your face when you say that.
I'll buy one.
He wants one. He's buying an ozone machine. No. Okay. So, Chris, you were absolutely awesome the way you approached the ozone and how you did that, right? And I got the reason I was using the 250, I got a lot of calls like that, and I got all the jobs too. The only, I give you an A, man, on how you approach this. The way you would have gotten an A plus is if you would have mentioned the other things it does, like denature allergens, right? And if you would have talked about some of that stuff a little bit. Now this ozone guy is just doing this odor, and you're doing like 10 different things for them. You're sanitizing their house, you're denaturing allergens. I think it's important to say those things, but I don't know. Now, when you're talking to people in Canada, are you getting any clients that just said what I said, that they called Jim's carpet, he's like $200, or have you heard that?
You know, a lot of people that call me are very vague. They don't want to tell me anything or anyone they've spoken to already. They just want information. And as soon as I've explained the differences, and you have to remember, I do say more, Joe.
Yes.
I'm on a video here, and I can see your face laughing at me.
No, I was smiling because you were doing awesome. I was impressed with how you knew about ozone. Not many people even understand O3 and how that molecule works, man. I'm blown away. If those of you out there listening, listen to what Chris is saying, because that is awesome that he knew the answer to that and how to approach that, right? I thought it was like, that's far out, dude.
Joe, I have a question, if I can, Joe.
Yes.
And this actually go to Chris too. So, do you talk about your guarantee as opposed to the other guy, or do you not even approach that? I've never asked you that question. I was just wondering if during that conversation, as to why they're $250 and you're what you are, do you mention that, well, it works 100% guaranteed? Does Joe's carpet cleaning give you any kind of guarantee that odor is going to be gone forever?
I do tell everyone that I give a guarantee, and actually I don't try to use the word guarantee. I try to tell people that it's basically their satisfaction or they don't pay, and that's how I've worded it on the website.
Yes.
So it's their no, and I just finished a terrible cat urine job in about a 2,100 square foot house, 3 levels, and that was the lady's primary fear, was what if I don't get out the cat urine odor? And I'm sure Joe would have got to this question. It would have been the next one, but she said to me, what happens if it doesn't work after the first time? I said, well, I come back and this is the choice you get to make. I will either redo it or we part friends and you don't have to pay me. It's completely your choice.
Yeah, there you go.
I think what you just said, Chris, is extremely important, because the reason we all got started using chlorine dioxide was for the type of guarantee, because all of like you didn't do odor before this. You got into odor. You were doing carpet stretching, repairs, and dyeing, and you were new at this. And I think it's important that you were a specialist anyway in carpet repair, and you made this a specialist job for you. And so for people to understand, I wasn't a carpet cleaner either when I was doing this. I was a restoration company. We didn't even clean carpets anymore. So going in as a specialist helps. So when you're doing this, and we're going to talk about this tonight, we're going to talk about why you want to have this other website so it shows you as a specialist, because it's not necessarily you, the carpet cleaner, that sucks. It's the perception that people have about all these $99 carpet cleaners, and they think we're all $99 carpet cleaners, right, Mike?
Right.
So we have to educate people constantly why we're not a $99 carpet cleaner. So listen, those of you that ever want to, if you want to go up against a $99 carpet cleaner, what I suggest you put on your website, you get an Amazon thing, a link for a hose, right? For a hose and a wet dry vac. And you tell them, instead of spending $99 for the same price, you can go to Amazon and buy this wet dry vac and this hose, and you can hose down your carpet take that wet dry vac and suck up that water, and you just did a better job than that $99 cleaner, right?
Right.
That's awesome. That's a new one. But anyway, let's get back. We'll get back on
Well,
track.
wait a minute. No, I've got something I'd like to say based on that, because what you just said was very simple. And I've actually been having, I don't want to say a problem is not the right word. It's a conundrum to me. We start talking about O3 molecules that are 100 times smaller or whatever. You know, I've seen it when I was over in Ventura and we were working, trying to work those fire jobs over there. I would watch people's eyes glaze over. Jeff was really, really good at explaining that very technically. And, I saw people just completely get lost in the whole conversation. And I didn't have a way to what I consider dumb that down, because because I knew enough about the product that I knew exactly what he was saying, but these people didn't. How would you combat that?
So listen, I have the answer, because I have a different approach than how Chris approached it, but I thought that was, I really enjoyed listening to this. Because I had a restoration company and had all these ozone machines, so when you can say this too, like I've used ozone and ozone does not work.
Right.
If ozone worked, Mrs. Jones, for $250 and all I got to do is walk in your house and plug it in and walk out, I'll do that all day, every day. And so the way you combat it is like this. You say, Mrs. Jones, I will ozone your house for $125. Now, I'm not going to guarantee the ozone, but I'll do it for half the price of Jim's carpet cleaning. Right. And when it doesn't work, we got to wait 5 days because I can't use my product right after ozone. And then we'll come in and charge you our regular price, right, to do it right. So, but I'm willing to go into your house for $125 instead of $250 because all I got to do is plug this thing in. I'm in there for 30 seconds and we're out of there. So that's a way to combat it because, listen, ozone doesn't work. The only reason I ever use ozone is because it's an Exactimate and I could charge for it. It was a line item, right? I didn't use it to get rid of odors because it never got rid of anything.
Well, for years, it was the only thing that was available.
Well, yeah, so it
might get rid of 50% of it, and some people knew, that, okay, that's better than nothing. There was no other alternative.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
That's what drew me to CLO2 to start with. Wait a minute.
So now we have this product that's mind-boggling to all of us because it works so well. And if only our phones were ringing off the hook, right, we'd be getting all this work. So we have a way to do that with AdWords.
Absolutely.
Because AdWords, like we start an AdWords campaign today, tomorrow you're on Google at the top, and the rest is history. Now, the reason, I'm going to tell you why in the beginning Chris was only making a few thousand a month on this $500 ad spend. That's because when you first start doing AdWords on a new niche or new campaign, because every city's different, the way people search, you got to figure out how people are searching. And the one thing Google gives you when you're paying them is all those search terms. So now you learn. So for instance, there's a big part of Google AdWords that 80% of them, and 80% of ad agencies don't even understand, and it's called negative keywords. So I know I have around 900 negative keywords in my ad campaigns when I do AdWords for odor. I just learned a new one the other day when there was a search for boiling vinegar to get rid of smoke odor. So I added boil and vinegar as negative keywords because I never want to come up again because I didn't have that as a negative keyword. So I don't want to come up for vinegar. It's a home remedy, right? I want to come up for buyer intent keywords.
Right.
So you can use it for you you can use negative keywords just like you're using positive keywords. So the reason it took him a few months to get to where he was making more money is, the agency has to figure out what keywords a bid higher for. What is he going to, maybe he's starting broad modified. He's going to make him exact match, and you bid higher on exact match. Exact match would be pet odor removal, Charlotte, North Carolina. I've seen 10 of those clicks, right? Well, I'm going to make that an exact match. And I'm going to bid 30% higher on that now because that's an exact keyword. I want to be number one because I know people are searching for that. That's like that's kind of how it works, right? So you're always looking at this. So smart agencies have AdWords editor and they have all this stuff so they can look at multiple things happening in a minute, right? Like I can see a lot going on. Otherwise, it'd be impossible to handle 100 people, right? You couldn't do it. So there's ways of doing it where it's really and it's not something you do, reading a couple of books. It's after 10 years of trial and error and things like that. So let's ask you a question now, Mike, for odor, and let's see how you answer this, and then we'll get on with it. But do you have something else, Chris?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I know another reason that I didn't do so well in the beginning is that I was learning my scripts.
Right.
And as I would not have success with someone, I would learn something better to say. So I was always practicing and improving my scripts with people. And every person that phones doesn't get the same script. I mean, some people ask different questions. And I have a lot of people say to me with cat urine, how much? I have cat urine in my house. How much? And there is no how much with cat urine. You have to go and see it.
That's right. Is it one spot? Is it two spots? Is it behind the baseboard? Did it get airborne? Like there's a lot to it. And people need to understand there's a reason why, Mrs. Jones, right, that most carpet cleaning companies go out of business doing odor control because of cat urine. Because they tell you they can get rid of it and they're not using the right kind of equipment or the lights and they're not seeing where all the little spots are and it just comes back. So yeah, it's a gut feeling when you're on the phone. I think sales is all about gut feelings. It's all about what that person's saying and how you respond to that person. Because you're right, everybody's different. When I was doing Waldo Canyon fires, right, and it was in the richest part of Colorado Springs up in Waldo Canyon, right? I was trying to remember the neighborhood. It's Waldo Canyon, right? And it was up there. I was talking to some pretty hot, like the bank president of Ant Bank and all this. I was talking to people, I was talking to a lot of different people, right? And so I had to conform to them. So the one job that I did get was that construction defect attorney, Mr. Hendershot, put me on the map in that area, man, because once I did his house, because no one would work for him because he sued people like me, but I did, right? And so it was yes, sir, no, sir, but within 3 days, he was answering the door saying, hey, man, with a cup of coffee for me, and he was talking my language now, because at some point, everybody goes my way, man. They're all going to be the surfer, what's up, dude, no matter what, right? But in the beginning, you don't know that person, right? They don't know you. You can't get friendly. Right. You don't know. You can tell when they're talking to you. I think experience has a lot to do with how we make sales, right? Like if we feel comfortable with chlorine dioxide, right, you guys should be listening to the videos and watching us. And when we're talking to you, because really it is as simple. It's so simple. A blind man can do it, but you don't want the client to know it's so simple. A blind man can do it. That's why I came up with a 12-step process to make it look like it's way harder than it really is. Even at the 12-step, it's like crazy simple. Our business, when when somebody's being told 250 and he's saying 1,600, we need to have isn't what included in the yearly membership fee? AdWords? Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway, so you got to have, I lost my train of thought because that was funny. Hold on. Where was I?
You were talking about how you've got to get a relationship with this person.
So and you can tell how a person is. If they're real friendly, you can be friendly. If they're real stuffy and stiff, it's because they're afraid, right?
Right.
They're afraid of what you're going to tell them because they don't want to spend their money. Nobody wants to spend money, man. Nobody wants to spend their money, so they're afraid, right? And so when they're like that, you got to calm them down and get them on your side. So AdWords will make the phone absolutely ring. As Chris was saying, you figure out your script. I'm different. I've never had a script. I do everything by the seat of my pants, right? I'm very quick-minded, like I'm street smart, right? I was hitchhiking across the country when I was 15 years old, man. So I think different, right? So I'm just a people person. If they ask a question, I tell them an answer the best I know how, and I understand chlorine dioxide. I went out and learned it. I didn't have to go out and learn it. I had a crew. I got off my butt, right, in my office. Those of you that don't know this, I worked 10 times harder than I did when I owned that company because I didn't have to do anything. I had people, but now I am the people. So anyway, I think it was the smartest thing I ever did was go out and use the product every day. You as a business owner, if you have employees, you need to use it. You need to fill it. It doesn't matter that you look at one of my videos or Jim and I's videos, or you call Jim or you call myself and we tell you how to do it until you fill it and see that fog. When I first saw it, man, I was like, oh my God, right? When I did a training for these people without talking about it, and they all backed up thinking it was sarin gas, right? So you gotta like understand it, right? Okay, so if do you see can you see the chat room, Craig?
Yeah, can I ask a question to
Sure.
Chris real quick? Chris, when you were working on your scripts, I know that we're going to provide the recorded calls, to the members so they can look at those and hear those and maybe figure out what they said, right, if they didn't get the deal. Did you have access to those as well or no?
I didn't even know that you could get access to that, so no, I didn't. It was
Okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I was listening to what people said to me, and,
Sure.
and then I realized when I misspoke and when I didn't, and then I just kind of adjusted it from there.
So yeah, so what our plan is we have a high-end calls center, right? That's recording these calls, and so of course with people that are doing AdWords with us, we're going to get permission. Like they'll get to hear their own calls, of course, right? But the way I can help people make more sales is by hearing the ones that are closing and the ones that aren't, and we have training. There's nothing to be ashamed about if you're not closing some calls, because we all don't know everything, man. Like I know, as the reason I know so much about chlorine dioxide, first I learned from Jim, and I have hundreds of you that I talk to every week, and I'm learning from you. So I'm able to talk to all of you and get all this knowledge. I didn't gain all this knowledge because I went out there for, I had to go out and learn it, but I know a lot of stuff about chlorine dioxide now because I hear everybody's story. So I get to see all the ways that are working and aren't, right? So now we're working on 6 people right now that have already joined to do AdWords, and we're working on their websites. We're getting that all ready. And so we're going to be talking about that in a minute. But so Chris, I'm really impressed that how exciting to start doing AdWords in the beginning and make money like that. And now you're continuing to make, like, look, you weren't ready last spring, but you are this spring. So that 5,000 is probably going to be 10,000.
Yeah.
Because it's about to pick up. Like people don't really, there's not that much business in the wintertime because you don't smell the odors, right? So it's about to pick up for you, and it's going to blow your mind what can happen with AdWords. I mean, it's crazy. It's almost, well, it is crazy. Like once you get going and you get some momentum and you got your sales pitch down and what you're saying to people, I don't doubt that you can spend the same money and make 10,000, right? I know that Juan got a few calls during the first month. One of them could have been worth about $3,000-$4,000. One was a whole house smoke odor, right? So I'm going to work with Juan on his script and how because he's used to, for 30 years, he's been doing carpet cleaning and telling everybody what it costs per room. So there's a better way to do this so you close those deals. Because yes, I can make the phone ring with AdWords. I just can't make the sale. That's why I love the recording, so we can see who's closing and who isn't and how that works, right? And so we can all learn together. So this isn't just about AdWords. It's about learning how to close the deal on the phone once you get the call, because you're paying for that click. Okay, his area is 1.5 million. So his area is 1.5 million, right, Chris?
Yes.
So yes. So if you're in an area of 100,000, your ad spend might be $100 a month, and you might not get as many calls as Chris, because he has 1.5 million. He has 3 million eyeballs looking at these ads, right? Or he's got that big of a population. A smaller population, less ad spend, less calls, but that doesn't mean you can make less. One job can be 25,000 for Brian. Wow, man, we're gonna own that town, buddy. Okay, so one call can make you $3,000. You guys know this by doing it. Chris, you know it, and you've done it in California, Mike, where you made a couple of $1,000s on a job. So it's not impossible to get those $2,000-$3,000 jobs, right? From one $4 click, right? And now what does that return? That's crazy. That's a crazy return, right? So it depends on the type of calls, right? It doesn't, population, yes, it's going to get you more calls because there's more people seeing the ads. When you have a big, like your area, 4 million people, right, Mike?
Right.
Like that, like you may not even be able to handle it.
Well, in the beginning, I'd like to, we were talking about the ability to be able to do zip codes. So there's areas that I might not even want to advertise to. Not that the money isn't, still the same amount of money, but the fact of the matter is there's higher demographic areas that you want to deal with.
Yeah, and the only thing about zip codes are great, and I agree, right? You got 4 million people, you don't want them all. If you're going after, let's say, Gilbert, Mesa, those kind of places,
right,
and everybody in Gilbert and Mesa work in Phoenix, right? And so during the day, while they're screwing around at their office and the owner's paying them and they're looking for odor control businesses, right? And they're filling out, they're going to try to fill out that little form or call you. They're not going to see your ad because we're not going after that area. AdWords is all about location.
Right.
I can stop. The cool thing about AdWords is you could say, dude, I'm busy. I can't take any more work. And see this thing right here?
Right.
That's called a mouse. See that little button on the left? One click and and I can stop it that quick. Bam, it stopped. It's paused.
Yeah.
Right. So you can pause AdWords, right? Like you can get busy, pause it, get busy again, pause it. Right. I used to do it with water damage. In the winter, we'd get like these freeze breaks and I'd put AdWords out there and I'd only run it for maybe 12 hours because I already got 30 calls, 40 calls, and I don't need any more. I'm not paying $150 a click in the middle of winter. I'm swamped. So I can turn it on and off, man. So it's pretty cool that way, right? To be able to do that.
You bet.
So if I was to call you, and so you're going to know this because you do carpet cleaning. So this is John. I just bought this house. It smelled like lemon when I moved in, right? And now I can smell like cat urine or dog urine, and it's really, really strong now that it's getting, it's getting spring and I can smell it real bad, and we don't see any spots anywhere. They put new carpet in and I don't see anything, but it smells really strong. So what would it cost for you to come out and look at that?
Well, I don't charge to do, an assessment for you. I'll come out and do a full inspection of your home. We'll identify the areas where your problems are, and that's the best way for me to give you a cost anyway. There's just no way over the phone that I can give you an assessment. What I can tell you is that I do have a $150 minimum to come out and do any work, but the assessment is free, and there's no charge for the assessment.
Well, that sounds great. So yeah, come on out. So yeah, that's an easy one, right? Like free estimates. And I say that on the website the new All Odors Gone website that I just built just for AdWords, right? I built it for AdWords. I have all these different landing pages because AdWords works like this. There's a quality score thing. So if the keyword is odor removal, and the ad says odor removal in it, and they click on and they search odor removal, and they see an ad that says odor removal, and they click on it, and it goes to a page that says odor removal, right? Your quality score goes up, the price you pay goes down. That's all very important stuff, man. Quality score, you could have a quality score of an 8 and somebody has a 6, and you could be bidding $4 for the number 1 position, and they're bidding $8 for the number 1 position, and you win because of your quality score, because there's ad rank. I won't get into all that, how that works, but it's extremely important that now Chris is making all this money, and he doesn't even have landing pages for all the keywords. So it just goes to say there's a lot of people with odors in Canada, man, that are just happy to go to his website. But I like to get that ad rank up so we pay less per keyword. There's a reason for that, right? You don't have to do that. That's not a necessary thing, but it does help quality score because Google's looking at relevance. Right? And so relevant, and I've built pages at 6. In fact, let's look at this real quick. Let me show you guys something real quick. All right, so this is the new All Odors Gone site, and it's for AdWords, okay? So I built it, and you can see it's much different than the free version that we give people, right? The free version is different than this. This, I built a bunch of landing pages. Like you can see, I have like cat urine odor, right? And when you go to this page, the keyword is professional cat urine odor elimination. We remove cat urine odor, right? Do you need continued odor control? I have that because we really want to get into that. How does our system work, right? Here's phone numbers. If they say pet odors, right? If the search is pet odors, I got a pet odor page. We eliminate any pet odor. If they say dog odor, here's a dog odor, right? So on and so forth. Smoke odor, cigarette smoke odor. I found by doing this ad over the last month that a lot of people are searching carpet cleaning for pet odor removal. So I added a carpet cleaning pet odor removal page recently to this site, and we were going after this keyword now, because it's a big keyword. And so what I'm doing is I want people to land on a page that talks about carpet cleaning, that shows how it's done, right? We show how we do the process, right, and all that. I need a few more videos here, but that is a quick view of the new, where'd you guys go, man? Okay, so that's like a quick view of what you're gonna get with doing AdWords with us, and we're gonna explain how that works. I wanted to bring Tim into the room. Chris, I can't thank you enough for coming in. Like, look, I enjoyed it when you came out to Colorado and I met you and you were like, look, I can tell you this, look, I was in love with you the day you bought my lunch, dude. You thought my time was worth something because I wasn't charging you for that. You just came out and I helped you. You felt my time was worth something, and you did that. And the other guy, we won't say anything about him, buddy. He's not even in this group. But anyway, I thought that, that's what I would do, right? And I thought that was awesome because you really care about people's time. You care about people. That's why you're successful, man. It's the whole reason why you're successful is because of you really care about people. Amen. I really care about people. I've done this 27, well, now I'm doing this. And so now I'm going on 29 years now. Not as long as Mike. You've been doing this for 74 years now, right, Mike?
And I'm 76 years old.
Yeah, you started when you were a baby. So the reason Mike's on here, and the reason we're talking about Mike's is doing AdWords with us. In fact, we just finished your website, Mike. Awesome. You'll be going live tomorrow, the next day with AdWords. So get ready. Hopefully you don't have to go to, what is it, Puerto Rico that I set up for you?
That might happen still.
I know. So something else.
Right. It's all right.
All right. We won't even talk about how
that's a whole different content.
Okay. So, all right. So anyway, you've been cleaning carpets a long time. And so by being able to go out to California, you're able to to test the product a little bit more,
Absolutely.
because you weren't doing a lot of jobs with odor control here because you weren't really going after it.
Right.
Now we're about to own Arizona,
Yeah.
and so it's about to change. And thank God you got to use the product. And
I'll tell you what it did out there. The job that one particular job that we did up there in Napa. Chris was there actually with me.
Yes.
And it was amazing. We went in, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and those people came back to their home at 7 o'clock that evening and spent that night in the house. And it was remarkable what it did, and that was where it solidified my whole idea about how this works. And I mean, I don't need to sell anybody about the product, but it was really amazing how it did all of the things that you talked about in the beginning. Not only was the smell gone, but the toxicity was gone. Her problem with headaches and sore throat every morning was gone. I thought she was going to start crying. I mean, it was such a relief for her. And those are the kind of things about helping people. Oh my gosh, that's, money's one thing, but when you can do things like that for people who are having problems, I mean, that's really.
You know what you're saying here? It's invaluable that you got that feedback, because it's hard to be confident in something. You hear me
Absolutely.
and Jim and all of us talking about how awesome this is, but until you get that kind of feedback. Now I thought I was awesome at getting video testimonies. Ron Hemphill got this video testimony from the pastor and his wife. It's like 8 minutes long. They were in the hospital with mold poisoning, and they were dying, and all this stuff was going on. And Ron used chlorine dioxide in their house, and now their headaches are gone. They're not in the hospital anymore. They're no longer sick. You guys got to see this video. It's like crazy awesome. The only bad part about the whole video, right, is that they talk about how they left their other house that had mold and sold it and moved here. So they sold their house to some unknowing person. So you might want to edit that part. But anyway, I caught it, but maybe nobody else will. So Craig, okay, so we're going to talk now about what the deal is and how we can help you guys. No, I want to bring Tim in for a minute, okay?
Yep.
So I'm going to get rid of one of you. Who should I get rid of?
Well, I can step back. I've spoken enough.
We love you though, man. Hold on. Where are you? Carpet guy. I'm like, carpet repair guy. Who's that? Okay. I'm going to roll to attendee. Okay, Tim, I'm going to bring you in the room, buddy. Are you ready? Are you ready? Tim better be in there.
Let's do it, he said.
All right, here we go. I want one more person, so we can just talk to one more person real quick, and then we're going to do it. Here we go. We're going to talk to Tim. Tim is another person just starting an AdWords campaign with us. So we're going after popcorn. I call him Popcorn Tim because he continuously sends me popcorn. And so I called Tim today and I said, hey, I got this odor. I have this popcorn and it has a butter smell, and I hear that you guys can get rid of odors. So anyway, how did you sell me on the job, Tim? All right, take it away. Let's talk about how you answer the phone, because you've done a lot of jobs already just off of natural SEO because you're ranking from SEO. Let's talk about that for a second, your jobs. Uh-oh, we can't hear you.
You got to unclick, unmute. There we go.
Just kidding. No, February is always slow here in Ohio just because of the weather. I mean, you can practically give your work away just to, keep the calls coming in, just to get cash flow. So this month, did 2 smoke restoration jobs and a skunk remediation job that popped up $3,200. And, I did more in that than I did carpet cleaning, which has actually been a blessing with my mom's health issue this time around. So it's actually given me more time to be here to help her out.
So what are you going to do when we start getting you all those calls on AdWords? If you, are you going to be able to handle it?
Yeah, it's actually going to give me a little more freedom to get away from some of the smaller carpet cleaning jobs. In peak season, you get some really good quality clients, but there's a lot of those time wasters that you get where maybe they were referred by a friend, and you hate to say no when it's just two or three rooms, and
that's why I quit answering the phones in my business, because I was giving everything away for free, because I can't handle a sad story, dude, and it's free, right? And so
Cousin Eddie's coming in this Saturday.
So let me ask you this. Okay, when you get a call, how do you? Let me just go. I'm the customer. Let's do this, Mike. Listen, Craig. Let's get somebody that's like a homeowner that knows nothing about this. You ask the question. Ask him a question.
Okay, Tim, or I'm calling, right?
Yeah. Ring, ring, ring.
Ring, ring, ring. Yes, I've got a problem in my house. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's a really nasty odor, and it might be behind the wall, in the bathroom. But my wife is talking about it every day, and I've got to have somebody to check it out. I don't know. What do you guys do?
Yeah, I'd be happy to set up an appointment to come out and take a look at it at your earliest convenience. And, it sounds like that could be something that's moisture related, maybe some kind of water intrusion that's finding its way into the wall cavity. It's really hard to tell without coming out and taking a look at it, whether it's a plumbing issue or, water finding its way in from outside. Or if you have a humidity issue where there's just some moisture content building up inside the interior of the wall. I'll tell you a little bit about our treatment process. It may be something that'll help you. We may have to do some remediation work as far as material removal first. Chlorine dioxide. I typically stayed away from a lot of remediation work over the years. I've been in the carpet and upholstery cleaning business for close to 24 years. And the reason being was the labor involved. I stumbled into this process cleaning hotels. One of my biggest challenges with the hotel I'm speaking of in particular, they had a lot of highway patrol officers staying there with canine officers, or canine units, apologize. And we'd end up with a wet dog odor. It didn't matter if I was trying $100 a gallon sanitizers like Microban, which is an industrial grade, hospital grade sanitizer, or a really strong enzyme. I was left with this wet dog odor. So in your instance, you probably just have some wet materials and it's off-gassing something, whether it's a mold or some kind of foul odor. We'll have to take a look at it.
Tim, let me stop you real quick. It was Tim, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Tim. The thing I'm really concerned about is my wife's, she's got a really weak immune system. And I'm really worried about any type of process that might jeopardize that. Before we I don't want to waste your time, obviously, but is your system, safe for her once this is done? If you get rid of the odor, is there a problem possibly for her?
In this process, it's the beauty of it. You do have to be out of the property while we do the vapor treatment. It's got a light chlorinated scent when we're completed. I like to use the analogy of being around an indoor swimming pool. If she can tolerate a scent like that, we typically don't have any objections other than if a chlorinated issue would be present.
It's just a scent, though, right, Tim? It's a scent.
Yes,
no.
just a chlorinated scent. Mm-hmm. Heat and light break this down very rapidly. So after we do the treatment, we're going to introduce heat. We're going to heat up the property, and then we'll also air it out. So it usually breaks it down very quick. The lovely thing about this is with chlorine dioxide, it breaks down to a simple salt and moisture. So there's no toxicity. There's not going to be any chemical residue left behind that would present any problems. I've done a lot of research into this before I jumped into it because I wanted to make sure it actually worked, which it does. And I'm so confident on every job, if it doesn't work, you don't pay one dime when we're done. If there's
and what do you think? What would it cost for you to come out, or what's the cost going to be?
Typically we'd have to take a look at the scenario because it's based on the square footage. We may be able to just contain a small area. Maybe the whole property needs to be done. It'll run anywhere from 75 cents a square foot up to $1.20. It really depends. That's for the vapor treatment. If there's any work that needs to be done, labor involved in removing the wall cavity, getting in there, materials replaced or anything like that. We really have to take a look at it. So that kind of gives you an idea. If you want to just use that formula towards your square footage, that'll give you a ballpark.
Sure. And what if I need a reference or two? Do you have somebody that I could talk to that you've been
Sure. I've got different categories, whether you need to talk to a realtor. I've done smoke remediation jobs. If you can imagine a property that's been smoked in for 30 years. And you can imagine in 24 hours you come back the next day and the smoke odor is completely gone. That's how effective this process is. And it takes out the toxicity. It's kind of hard to explain how it works without getting into too much science, but if you understand decomposing, let's say for instance,
that's fine, Tim. Yeah, I don't need all the details, but we have an issue, and that's that we're leaving on vacation in 3 days, and I need somebody out here like tomorrow.
Okay.
Is that possible? Or
yes, I could. Even at the end of the day or first thing in the morning, we could stop out and take a look at it. Whatever's more convenient for you.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd like for you to come out.
That's perfect. Well, he needs your credit card real quick so he can charge you. So listen, here's what Tim did that was so right. Tim told a story.
Yeah.
And sales is all about a story. The reason I did so well in my business is because I tell story. It's a story, and you had me engulfed in your story, right? So listen, because there's going to be a lot of people watching this, and they're going to wonder about chlorine dioxide. My wife got mold poisoning 19 years ago. Her immune system was shot. She almost died from it. Chlorine bleach absolutely makes her lose her voice and break out in a rash. Chlorine dioxide doesn't do a thing to her. They're two different things, man. So I just want you to, so you can use that next time. And we're doing a lot of homes where people are coming home from after chemo treatments where they don't even have an immune system.
Right.
So our product is used in places like that. So it's important, Tim. You got the job because of your story. Your story was very intriguing. You talked about the other chemicals you used. You could, now that I just announced the part where my wife got real sick and it doesn't bother her, and that we're doing it for people that have cancer and those kind of things, right? It's our product does not cause problems, right? Because my wife, in a second, I would have a problem. In fact, when she walked in the house, when I first used it, she goes, "Oh my God, what did you use in our house?" Because she smelled it, and she ran out because she thought she was going to break out and all this stuff, and it never happened. So if she wasn't in her jammies relaxing, I'd have her come in and tell you all, but I'll get her to do it. I was going to get her to do a testimony, and she says, "No one's going to believe me. I'm your wife. They're going to think you made me say that."
Yeah.
Look, those of you that know my wife, any of you that know my wife know I don't tell my wife anything. She tells me how it is, right? So she missed that part of the Bible. No, I'm kidding, man. I love my wife. 36 years in May. We'll be married 36 years. Who the heck can hang out with me for 36 years? Thank God she's blind and has cataract that can get to death, right? Like, I'd be in trouble, buddy. So anyway, look. So we got a product that's the most awesome product in the world. We got a way to make your phone ring quickly, and tell her we'll bring her a biscuit. Brian's bringing some biscuits. Craig, I'm going to have you share your screen, and we're going to show everybody what we can do for them. First of all, let's talk about these areas that are already taken. If you're doing AdWords with us, we can only do one AdWords person like we do SEO, right? We're not going to compete against ourselves. Now, a place like Arizona, like Phoenix, Maricopa County, where there's 4 million people,
right,
might break it up, right?
Yeah.
If somebody else was there and we broke up zip codes, that's easy. 2 million, you get slammed on your 2 million.
Right.
You give him some work, he gets slammed, he gives you some work, right? He or she, and you guys share in the wealth, man, and you give a referral fee. So
there's so much
work.
There's so much work. I don't care what the population is. Well,
I'm not going to do ads in the same place because the way I write headlines, they sell. So I don't want to compete the same ads, right? In the same area. So we'll break them up, but you're right. 2 million and 2 million. What the heck? Okay, Craig, I'm going to try to shut up.
No problem. You've been going strong all day, so you can.
I've been going on strong for like almost 61 years, buddy.
For a long time. All right, so I just posted the link to the page with the packages in the chat box. This is also it. If you guys, can everybody see the link in the chat box?
Yes,
I see it. Yes.
Okay, good. So let's just look at the page here. I'll bring it up and we'll go over the packages. So we also have a bonus tonight for people that sign up. Joe and I are actually going to give you 50% off your renewal for your next year. And I know a lot of you have that coming up in the next couple of months. So just take 50% off of that. We'll let Jim know who signs up, and you'll have.
He's talking about your ACES renewal membership when it comes up. We're going to pay 50% of that. Whatever you paid, Craig and I are going to pay 50% of that to start with. Go.
Right. And if we have 4 packages. Yep. We have 4 packages that we're offering. One of the packages, actually, it's the number 4 package, is for those members that are currently doing natural organic SEO with us. And that's the package that you would choose. So AdWords package, if you want to just do AdWords only, and Joe will be setting up your campaign. We'll be working on the new site. Joe, you showed him the new site a few minutes ago. That is totally different than the free site that you got as a ACES member. This one has a lot of special landing pages, and it'll convert a lot better. So what we're going to do is you'll have, if you just do AdWords only, there's going to be a setup fee of $197. And then the monthly management fee is $197. And then there's a $77 a month fee for the new site that Joe has spent countless. I don't know, Joe, you've been working on that for how long? I mean, I don't know. I lost track. I can't even.
A couple of months, but understand that we have it on a private hosting. We're privately hosting. Explain the hosting, because the type of hosting we do would cost you $100 a month if you did it on your own. No, $200 a month.
So we use a dedicated server, and the nice thing about that is we can make all your sites secure. Plus, you don't have to be on shared hosting where you're on there with the sites that you don't. There could be a blacklisted site that could hurt your rankings. There's a lot of reasons for using dedicated hosting. It is expensive, but that's one of the reasons that you have a monthly fee for the site, plus all of the amount of time that Joe's put into it as well. I mean, I've never seen anybody put so much time into a project. I mean, and Joe does this with pretty much anything that he gets involved with. I mean, it just amazes me. I've been doing AdWords myself for probably 15 years. I've been doing natural SEO for 21 years. And Joe has, his knowledge is much, probably 3 or 4 times greater than myself when it comes to AdWords. So Joe, hats off to you. You're amazing.
Well, it's not just me. I have, as you know, I pay a couple $100 an hour. I have a person that has a multi-million-dollar agency overseas that private tutors me on advanced stuff. So I have the advantage of being his only pupil, and that's how good of a salesman I am. I talk this guy into teaching me, right, when they're making millions and millions. So I get to learn stuff that I would never learn on my own because, I don't have an agency making, $100 million a year.
Sure. But Joe, I just, seriously, you've done a great job with the AdWords, and I'm impressed. And I've done AdWords forever, and I don't know anywhere close to the amount of the way you set up campaigns is totally amazing. That'll bring the AdWord cost down, the price per click down, the whole 9 yards. So, but anyway, so the packages, The number one package is if you just want to do AdWords, okay? You would pick that package. It's $274 per month with a first month spend of $471 because that includes your setup fee. And then, of course, you would also pay for your ad spend, okay? What the ads actually cost you on top of that. And that could be anywhere from, $75 to, how much do you want to spend? How many calls do you want to get? It could go up.
Let me interject real quick. So,
yes.
like right now, so you could have a max monthly budget. So what happens with AdWords is every time somebody clicks, AdWords charges like once a month for each click, right? So when they add up, they charge. So we'll use your credit card in your account, but I stop it at a certain amount. If you say 300, we stop it at 300. You heard Chris, he's spending around $550 a month, right? So maybe we do that, right? So just know that like when AdWords makes your phone ring because you're at the top, so you're paying for the ads. This is for me to manage it and basically save you money. That's what all this is about. Go ahead, Craig. I'm sorry.
There you go. So basically that's it. As when you check out, you go to a secured order form. You will also be able to book an appointment for a consultation with both Joe and myself.
Yeah.
Okay? Any of these packages, when you go and you add this to the cart, you go through the checkout process, the next page that you go to is going to take you to an online booking page, and that's where you can pick a day and a time that's convenient for you, and it'll actually send you a Zoom link, and we'll do a Zoom meeting together. We'll pick out if we scroll down to the bottom of this page, it tells you what we're going to do is we're going to have at least a 30-minute strategy session. I know some of you that are in larger areas, it may take 45 minutes to an hour to go over all the details. We'll go over your target area. We'll talk about if we want to do zip code targeting. Like for Mike, we're going to be doing zip code targeting, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then we're going to talk about the focus for your ads. Do you want to deal with the cat urine stuff, right? Do we want to have cat urine ads, right?
Right.
Or, is it going to be focused more on sanitization, those type of things, allergies and whatnot? So we're going to answer all of your questions, and we're going to take the time for each one of you. Joe, do you want to talk about the monthly management fee, $197 monthly? That's up to basically a $1,400 ad spend. If you're at the point where you need to spend more than $1,400 a month, which would be really good, that means you're probably making, 20, 30 grand a month, or more. Then
so it's 197 monthly to manage it because there's a lot that goes on with what we're doing with keywords and how we're making your phones ring more and more. Then after that 1,400 ad spend is 20%, right? So whatever's greater. Most people do an odor removal are probably not going to get to $1,400 a month because the keywords are so low. When I was doing it for a AmeriDrive for water damage, I was spending $10,000 a month on ad spend, but I was making $100,000. So, or more than that on some months. So it's relative to what you're making. So if you spend $1 and you make 10, right? How much work can you handle? AdWords is all about spending $1 and making more than you spent, right? So maybe the first month it's not $10. Maybe the first month it's $4 or $5, right? While we're getting the keywords right now. I understand keywords real well. I understand our industry. I'm way ahead of most people that do this. So I just want to say something. Some of you might be wondering why I haven't brought up AdWords before this, or we even approach you with this. It's because I have been thinking about doing AdWords, and my goal was to go after plumbers and people that were going to spend about $10,000 a month, right? Because AdWords is a lot. It makes the person a lot of money, right? And so I I was going to work with plumbers and people that were going to spend about $10,000 a month. Water damage companies. I'm definitely going after water damage companies, and it's not $197 a month for them. It's 20% of ad spend. So I'll probably make $2,000 on a $10,000 spend, but I'm making them a lot of money. So this is relative. I just started after talking to our members for this long, and hearing, like it's sad for me to hear when people are slow. And yes, SEO is very important. You need to be on that first page, but AdWords makes your phone ring right away. So it's a whole different thing. You need to be up there. You need to be here. It needs to be you, and you. I decided to do AdWords for everybody because I really want to help. So $197 a month is nothing for AdWords. People that I'm involved with in AdWords industry, right? Most people start at these ads. They're $1,500 a month to even talk to them, right? I'm doing it for $197. I'm doing it so you guys can make money. I really, really want to help, but we got to charge something, because it's not just me handling all this. I have a team of people that will be helping, and I got to pay them, because, there's no doubt in my mind, 6 months from now, 200-300 of you are going to be doing this. But understand, I'm doing one per area. I can't compete against myself. So whoever jumps on gets it. Whoever doesn't, the next person gets it. So that's the deal, right? We're going to pay half of your fee for ACEs when it comes up. We're paying half of that. So, and we're giving all these other deals. The $77 monthly bill for the website is if you decide, okay, let's say you don't want to do AdWords for a month, right? Because you're too busy, or you're going on vacation or something like that, right? You're still going to have to pay the $77, because I'm maintaining the site. We're hosting it. And look at dedicated servers. Look at what they cost. They start at about $199 a month, and there's a reason why we want a dedicated server. Is I want our websites faster. There's a lot of reasons. I want those secure sites, right? Those are very important to me, having the HTTPS, right? Craig, they're all getting that, right?
Yeah, and you see up here in my browser, can you see up here?
Yeah,
that
the HTTPS, yes.
Site? You see the security seal, the lock?
Right.
Yes.
That's really important. That's a real big part of Google's algorithm now too, with SEO, natural SEO, is that they're really leaning towards secured sites.
So we're changing all that.
All that. So everybody's site that is a premium site will be 100% secured. Okay. Let's talk about package number 2. That's if you want to do AdWords. Now, these are for the members that aren't currently doing natural SEO. We have, quite a few members already doing it. You would pick package number 4, of course, if you're already doing marketing with Joe and myself. Package number 2 gives you the AdWords program plus the natural, which is the organic, the results that Google serves up. In the search results. So you would get that for your main city that you're in, okay? And really, that city could be a city of, 25,000 people. It could be a city of 100,000 people. It doesn't matter. Now, if you have if you're in a city like Chicago, then we're going to pick that. You're probably living in a suburb, something like that. That's the city that we're going to start with. Now, if you want a larger area, let's say you just want to get your feet wet, you want SEO, you want to do the AdWords, then package number 2 will get you both of those. We do have a special going on package number 3, which gets you up to 5 cities, at a very reasonable cost. Basically, you're going to get the 5 cities for $497. Okay, tonight, added on. So your monthly would be $771. Anybody that picks package number 2 or 3 or 4 is going to not have to pay the setup fee. Anybody that does any type of marketing, if you're doing SEO with us, you don't pay. We waive the setup fee for you. So that's a bonus as well.
So number 4 is if you're already doing SEO, there's no $197 setup fee. We're giving that to you, and
That's correct.
So. Those are kind of like the sites. So a few people, I wasn't going to really let this out until tonight. A few people found out about it, so we got a few people that signed up, and there's a couple of areas that are probably half of Arizona. Depends on what Mike wants to do, right? And we have. So do you know the areas? Like Tim, Ohio.
Tim's in Columbus, outside of Columbus.
So Columbus is taken. What else? Where?
Vancouver.
Vancouver. Where are you at, Craig? The other people.
The other people. Let's see. What do we have?
Oh, I wasn't supposed to ask that question because you can't remember. We'll remember, man.
That's right. Where else do we have people?
Well, we have the new guy. I won't say his name.
We can't say that, but actually that's
Missouri.
It's in Missouri. Yeah. So if you're in Missouri,
well, there's part of Missouri.
He's actually in Columbus. So he's got Columbus locked down, and the Lake of the Ozarks. That area is
that's all locked down.
Right. Mike's got it. Tim's got his area. We've got also Chicago areas done as well.
Yes.
That's part of Chicago is done, not all of Chicago.
Yeah, that's too big. It's too big of an area.
So that's the starting in Elk Grove and northern Chicago suburbs. I think,
so there's
that type of thing.
So right there, put the link in one more time so it's at the bottom.
Put the link in. Let's see. I don't see where I can go back to chat.
Oh, never mind. So it's on there. You guys see it up there, right? You can see where Craig Berry put the link. If you click on that. Yes. So if you do this, tonight, we're going to take care of half of your, even if you're new, I invited a couple of people that are not members in here that want to become members. We're going to pay for half your membership. All right. So this absolutely gets the phone ringing. Okay. Anyway, man, oh man, oh man. I thought it was a long week and it's Monday. But while you guys were all barbecuing all week, and I'm kidding, man. Like I was working on this. I'm really involved in, like, I love chlorine dioxide, man. So I'm on the phone. You guys probably wonder how I have this time. Well, it all goes with only sleeping 4 hours a night.
Exactly.
Did I tune into QVC? I know, dude, they need to hire me at QVC, darn it. I'm going to sell them something.
So, Joe.
Yes.
What day is it?
Monday. And I said, man, it's been a long week when I first came on at 10 to 7. And I'm like, well, dang, my
Tuesday,
week never
Joe.
ends.
It's actually Tuesday.
Tuesday, Joe.
Oh, it is? Oh, wow. Yeah, it is Tuesday. Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No, I know. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
I know. I work really, really hard, right? And
you do.
And I enjoy working. I enjoy doing. Now, I get out and I go to the beach and I hang with my wife, right? But, like, there's something wrong with me because if everybody was going on a yacht trip around the world, I would be bummed out because I was leaving my computer. I would have to, I couldn't do it. I love doing this, man. Like I really, really do. And those of you that know me, you know I love it. Yep. And so there's nothing I love more than getting your phones to ring, and that's what I'm going to do, right? So like, look, getting a 10-to-1 return is not only absolutely feasible or absolutely most likely guaranteed, right? But it could be a lot higher than that. If you spent $200 and got a $2,000 job, well, you're now 2,000%, man. So that's like 20-to-1, right, Craig? Am I right?
That's close.
Yeah, I don't know algebra and all that stuff, but I knew what people owed me when I was in business, buddy. And so that's all I needed to know. I didn't.
So I'm getting like several texts, and people are asking me to hold areas, and it's going to be tough, guys, because it's like on a first come, first served basis. If you guys are seriously interested, I would get your area because once it's gone, somebody buys it. And some of you are in large cities where there are several members. So I'm just saying it. And, we're going to hold to that. Now, let's say there's a large city like Chicago or Denver. We can split up zip codes. Okay.
Yeah, because I can go after zip codes. And we can do it there's a lot of ways to do this, right? Where I can make it work for you because Denver has 5 million people, right? So there ain't nobody that
will get the choice though, Joe, right? They'll be able to pick their zip codes. Yeah. So there is a benefit from being first. And we'll probably we should be able to get everybody signed up within, what would you say, Joe? Probably a week or so at least get started?
Yeah, because I've already built
the
site. Yeah, the site's done. We're gonna be duplicating the site, and the way we're gonna do it, we're gonna call it your city dot all over. It's not gonna be your business name. We're also getting a logo for this all over it's gone that's gonna be across the board because we're so think of this like Yodel, right? Like Yodel will charge you like $800 a month, and you might get 3 calls, man. Right? Yodel lets you build a website that totally sucks, right? I'm giving you like a premium site on a premium hosting plan for almost nothing. So there's a big benefit here, and I don't need to try to sell you because it's this is huge. Those of you that even understand AdWords, the deal that we're giving you tonight is like unheard of. It's crazy, right? So because I know I can make you tons of money doing AdWords. There's no doubt about it. And I already know I know the keywords. Something that's going to happen. So I just want to throw this out there. I am not going to give anybody access to the back end of this. Like a lot of ad agencies let you see your own ad thing. I'm not going to do that because of the way I do things. I don't want somebody copying me because I'm duplicating it for people around the country. And the power of me having all that intel from around the country is going to blow you guys away. You're going to be at the top for less money and everything. So I'm not giving that away. It's just not all you need to care about is you're spending that money and you're making 10 times, 20 times, 30 times that money. You're happy, right? We can pause it at any time, right? We can pause the ad if you need a break or whatever, it can be paused. Your monthly budget, Google has the right to be 10% below or above your budget. So if your ad spend is $350, if you say you want to do $350, $550 like Chris, whatever that is, they can go 10% over that or 10% below that.
Right.
And Joe, close to that. Go ahead.
Or Tim, go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to add one thing. If you are going to get your feet wet with this, plan on having some inventory because, you're going to have jobs pop up like the last one I did was a skunk remediation. She wanted it the next morning, and I had the stuff. I was ready to do it, and it's a nice $1,800 job I knocked out real quick. So they're going to pop up like that. So be ready.
Yeah, and there's more to this. Like you guys, that you call me and we talk about chlorine dioxide, we talk about mold. When I got hired on to teach chlorine dioxide, I had no idea it was going to be where it is today, where we're going with this. Like it was not my obligation to teach anybody about mold and how to own a mold business and all that kind of stuff. I did it because I love the industry and I love all of you and I want you guys to make money and I really, really care, right? So I give 1,000% of myself every day, 24 hours a day. And I have no problem doing that because that's who I am. That's what I did in my business when I owned it, right? To my employees. You talk to any of my employees, like I was like their dad, every one of them. I just really care, right? So I'm doing it for this price because I really care. It may seem like a lot of money to some of you, right? But look, in the world of AdWords and being in high-end AdWords, this is like pennies compared to what you're going to make from this.
And look at your margins. Your margins are amazing. So, it's not like water damage where you have to worry about one click from your competitor costs you $80, right?
Yeah, and it changes in the middle of winter. That water damage in Colorado Springs in the middle of winter was $150 a click, but nobody's searching water damage unless they have water damage. So it was a very valuable keyword, right? People might search odor, and not everybody is going to call you because they're searching. So you might get 50 clicks in a month and 5 calls, but out of those 50, you might get 50 calls. So I'm doing the website to try to get you calls, and that's why I did it that way, right? So, I want to show you something that I did on this. So all you got to do is click on that link, go to this, guys. It's there. I want to show you something real quick. I'm really proud of this deal right here. Check this out, man. So when I fill this out, you pull it down, right? And let's say, it's urine, right? And my name is Joe. It already knows me, right? So when I submit this, right, you'll get an email when you put your email in. You're going to get all this information, and I don't like, but check this out, man. Watch. Check out the thank you page that I built, man. So it goes to a thank you page. We'll be with you, in contact with you shortly. Need help immediately. You get free estimates, free inspections, free advice. Now, Juan happened to have been in business since 1998. Yours is going to be different, right? Learn how our thing works, and I have like our video testimonies and all of this, right? So anyway, we have a thank you page that's awesome.
That is awesome.
So it makes them, it even shows the phone. I got that from Chris, by the way, the little phone.
That's great. I love that.
So it tells them to call even, right? But a lot of people are at work and they can't call. So they're going to fill out this form, and this form is on every page, right? It's on every page we got. So the form's everywhere.
So
All
Joe,
right?
I don't know if you saw the pop-up on the screen, but I think it was Dave. He said, does anybody remember the old Yellow Page advertising? And when you were talking about pricing.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
you're locked in for a year. You had no real say on content. And, you know, here in Phoenix, I did 2 full-page ads just in two cities. And it was running me about $2,700 a month. And I did it for 1 year, and I never broke even on any of those ads.
Yeah. Well, like, you know,
this is like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah. Like on Yellow, like this, I can stop, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
The Yellow Page is $2,000 or $3,000 a month.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So thank you, Dave. If you relate it to that, this is like, it's a no-brainer, right?
Pennies.
So my favorite page out of all of these pages is every one of them. Well, I built the whole thing. I love this stuff, man. But anyway, skunk coder, and of course all this comes up, and every page. I'm going to add, anyone that does this, right? The only way you can get this website is you got to do AdWords. I don't want other people using this outside of AdWords. I am going to add the whole health. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put quick odor relief under services, and I'm going to call it odor services. And then I'm going to have healthy home. I'm going to have the whole healthy home website, all 12 steps on this site also. It's going to be a mega site, and the price won't go up. And then if you want to do AdWords for like healthy home stuff, right? And I got to investigate that a little bit, like the type of keywords, but I'm going to add the whole 12-step healthy home thing to the site. Wow. I know. Something's wrong with me, dude.
Wow.
Okay, y'all.
Joe, we're also going to be doing training with the phone calls. Like we'll have a private group for just the AdWords members, and we'll do some, sessions with that. We'll do some special Zoom webinars with that, where we'll do some more role playing, and it'll be a fun time. We'll all learn together. So
shock therapy.
Yeah, shock therapy. We're going to do all of that stuff. You're all going to get that stuff. So anyway, it's been a real pleasure, right, having you all on tonight. I know this is different than any other Tuesday. It's something that's been on my heart for months, right? And so I did it. I pulled it, right? And when I showed Craig, like Craig doesn't even want to come online with me when I'm showing him all this cool stuff in AdWords. He's like, dude, man, I don't like, what the hell are you talking about? So anyway, it's I just like it. I love it.
Okay, let's put the link back up. A couple people are requesting the link.
Okay, you can do that now. You know how?
We got people buying multiple city areas right now.
Well, go grab, put the link up. So listen, there's no doubt I'm going to give you guys 200%. Right? All of you that know me, I'm going to give you 200%. Look, I really, really, really can't wait for Mike to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, man, because if anybody deserves, this guy, man, has been through a lot of stuff. I know some of his story. I'm going to cry thinking about this, man.
Everybody's got a story, Joe.
That's right. We all got a story.
Everybody's got a story.
I really care, and it's why I can't say that I work this hard because I really care. I'm a workaholic, man.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I love it, man. Craig, told me, quit emailing me at 3:30 in the morning, dude. My phone dings. He was lying. Like, I'm trying to tell him. You know what really sucks? 3:30 in the morning, nobody's awake, and I have nobody to show something cool I just figured out. That bums me out. It's just me, right? My wife doesn't want to hear it anymore. I bring her in.
Yourself?
Like, whatever.
Can you Zoom yourself?
Mark Hayes wants you.
That's awesome. Though.
Mark Hayes wants you to email him the link. Please email link to Mark Hayes. Okay.
Oh, email the link. Okay.
Yeah. So if you can email it, and I'll get Jim to email it to everybody also. But it's right there. And anyway, guys, you're not going to believe this, but I have something to do at 9:00. And it has to do with AdWords, and I got to get on. I got another meeting thing, so I'm going to get into it. I probably should stop. I mean, I'm sweating. Like, I get excited about this stuff, man, but it's hot too. So, like, believe me, man, So, do any of you ever wonder in a hot climate, like when you guys are all cold in those cold places, what we're all wearing below our shirts? Okay.
Oh no!
No, I'm just.
He's got pants on. He's got pants on, doesn't he?
Don't do it.
No, I'm wearing shorts and it's hot, right?
Oh, thank goodness!
Yeah, dude, I wouldn't get back there, and unless I was John Holmes, right? And I really want to show off.
All right, let's keep it clean now.
All right, keep it clean, man. That's as clean. That's
You don't
clean.
even know what hot is.
Yeah, I know. You're in Arizona.
Come on.
Dude, it's humid here. There's a difference with humidity.
Hey,
Humidity
nothing
makes
worse than
you
Houston,
sweat.
Texas, baby. Nothing worse. So those guys in the Gulf Coast anywhere, you have my sympathies.
Man, I'm going to be 61 years old in like a month. You think I could die? I'm not going to die, man. You're older than me, Mike. You're like 62, right?
Yeah, I'll be 63 this year.
Oh my God, dude. You're like a geezer.
Old as dirt.
Old as dirt, man. You know, it's a trip. It's a trip when most of your friends are getting Social Security. I'm like, how am I that dude?
How old is Dave?
Dave, just kids. Dave's like 65, man. He's like, have you ever met Dave?
No.
This guy is strong, man. Like, I wouldn't want to fight Dave in an alley. It'd take one punch and it'd be over for me. But he's the coolest Christian guy you're ever gonna meet, man. He's an awesome guy. So thank God, 65. Thank God he's a Christian, because he could be a bouncer.
So at one point or another, we all got to get together. We've been talking about this now.
Amen, brother.
You know, we got to have some kind of get together.
I agree.
You know.
I think there's no place better than Wilmington, North Carolina. So I can keep working while we're getting together. 75 in March? Dang, he's going to be 75 in March.
Wow.
Now there is a young dude. That's what I'm talking about. A guy on a webinar at 75, loving it. Like, okay, yeah, let's do that. All of us. You too, Craig. Come on, the guy deserves it. All right. That's what you're doing, Dave, in Cincinnati. I'm going to be happy to make it to 65. I'm pretty sure I will, because I don't have time to die, dude. I'm too busy.
Exactly.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh,
and I don't even think like I'm thinking, really? 61? My wife says I act like I'm 12. And I feel like I'm 18 or something. Yeah. Anyway, I loved it, guys. God bless old guys rule. Heck yeah, man. All right. So anyway, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So I think, look, thank you all for coming, man. It's been a real pleasure, right? So I would just like to end it. Like, those of you that don't want to listen, you don't have to listen. I'm going to say a prayer and I'm going to end it, because I really want to bless all of your businesses. So, Father, in the name of Jesus, we come to you. Thank you so much for tonight. Thank you for the crowd that we had. Thank you for giving me this knowledge that a person like me can even have. I can hardly believe that you've given me such knowledge and such understanding of AdWords. And thank you so much, Father, for a guy that flunked kindergarten. Could you imagine that? Only through God can that be possible. So listen, Father, all the people that are getting involved with this, I pray that you bless their businesses and you help their businesses flourish and grow, and that you give me the ability to help those phones ring, Father. Even if they're not doing this, Father, I pray that you bless their businesses. I just pray that anybody involved with chlorine dioxide starts to see fruit in their business and starts to see it grow, Father, and we thank you for that. And we know that when there's two or more of us together, Father, and we believe in this, Father, that you're going to grant us those prayers, Father. In Jesus' name, thank you so much. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all so much for tonight. I look forward to this, man. Like we're in for a big, big, heavy, awesome ride. AdWords is awesome. Oh, I hit the wrong button, man. All right, I'm going to end it, right?
See ya.
Sayonara.
Have a good evening.